The Distress from the Stars Captain. Elena Reyes stood on the bridge of the VSS Thunderchild, Earth's newest and most advanced warship. The vessel represented humanity's growing presence in the stars, a presence that made many of the older galactic species uncomfortable. She gazed at the holographic display showing their patrol route along the edge of human space, her dark eyes reflecting the blue glow of the projection. "Captain, I'm picking up something unusual," said Lieutenant Kai Chen, the communications officer. His fingers danced across the haptic interface as he fine-tuned the incoming signal. "It's not on any standard protocol, almost like it's designed to bypass normal channels." Reyes moved to his station. "Show me." Chen projected the waveform onto the main display. It pulsed with a simple mathematical pattern, prime numbers repeated in sequence, the universal indicator of intelligent life trying to make contact. "It's a distress signal," said Commander Sarah Okafor, the ship's XO. "But the source, the Novan system," Chen confirmed. "Restricted space under Galactic Council protection protocols." Reyes frowned. The Council had designated dozens of systems as protected throughout the galaxy, claiming to shield developing civilizations from outside influence. But in the 20 years since humanity had joined the galactic community, they'd begun to notice patterns that seemed less benevolent than advertised. "Send a message to command," Reyes ordered. "Let them know what we've detected." Within the hour, the response came through on the secure channel. Admiral Liu's weathered face appeared on the screen, her expression grave. "Captain Reyes, we've received your report. The Council representatives have informed us that the Novan system is under standard quarantine protocol. We are officially ordered to ignore the signal and continue our patrol." Reyes caught the slight emphasis on "officially" and raised an eyebrow. "Understood, Admiral. And unofficially?" Liu's face remained impassive, but her eyes hardened. "The Council has refused our request to send observers to these protected worlds for 5 years now. Whatever they're protecting in the Novan system, they don't want us to see it." She leaned forward. "We've detected an unusual amount of cargo traffic for a system that's supposedly being left to develop naturally." "So what are my orders, Admiral?" "Officially, you are to continue your patrol. However, the Thunderchild is scheduled for a tactical systems diagnostic that might require you to temporarily go offline and deviate from your assigned route." Liu's mouth quirked slightly. "The diagnostic could take up to 72 hours, during which we won't expect any communication." Reyes nodded. "I understand, Admiral. We'll begin the diagnostic immediately." As the transmission ended, she turned to her officers. "Plot a course for the Novan system. Maximum stealth approach. If there's someone in trouble out there, they've waited long enough." Commander Okafor stepped closer. "Captain, this is a direct violation of Council directives. If we're caught, then we don't get caught," Reyes said firmly. "The Council calls us Deathworlders like it's an insult. They forget that surviving on Earth didn't just make us strong, it taught us to stand together. We don't abandon those who call for help, no matter what some bureaucrats in a distant chamber decide." The journey to the Novan system took 14 hours at maximum speed. The Thunderchild's advanced stealth systems, developed from Earth's centuries of warfare and competition, kept them hidden from the standard Council detection grids. As they approached the outer edge of the system, Lieutenant Meera Patel at the sensor station raised an alert. "Captain, I'm detecting 3 Council vessels in orbit around the 4th planet, a Class M world with signs of industrial development." "Classification?" Reyes asked. 2 Enforcer-class patrol ships and 1 larger vessel. Appears to be a Harvester-class resource extractor. Commander Okafor and Reyes exchanged looks. "Resource extractor in a protected system?" Okafor said. "That contradicts every protection protocol the Council supposedly enforces." "Maintain stealth approach," Reyes ordered. "Take us in closer. I want to know what's happening on that planet." As they approached the blue-green world, the sensors began picking up more details. The planet showed signs of civilization, cities, road networks, and the beginnings of orbital structures, but something was wrong. Many of the urban centers showed damage patterns consistent with precision strikes. "Life signs?" Reyes asked. Approximately 3 million concentrated in the southern continent, Chen reported. But historical ecological surveys suggested a population of over 15 million just 5 years ago. Reyes clenched her jaw. The distress signal, can we locate the source? It's coming from a facility near the northern polar region, Chen said. Heavily shielded. The council ships have it surrounded, but haven't moved to neutralize it. They're containing it, Okafor realized. Making sure no one else hears the call. Reyes made her decision. Prepare a stealth shuttle. Commander Okafor, you'll remain in command while I lead a ground team. We need eyes on the surface. 4 hours later, Reyes led a team of 5 specialists through the dense, purple-leaved forest surrounding the transmission facility. The air was breathable, but carried an unfamiliar sweetness that their filters partially neutralized. They moved silently, using Earth's predatory heritage to their advantage. A heritage that had evolved on a world the galaxy considered hellishly dangerous. They crested a ridge and finally saw the source of the transmission. A massive communications array built into the side of a mountain. Council enforcers in their distinctive silver armor patrolled the perimeter, their weapons trained on the entrance. They're not trying to get in, Lieutenant Ramon Diaz, the team's security specialist, observed. They're keeping something contained. Reyes nodded. We're going in. Scatter pattern, non-lethal takedowns only. We need answers, not bodies. With practiced precision, the team disabled the council guards one by one. Their Earth-evolved muscles, denser bones, and quicker reflexes, all consequences of developing on a death world with higher gravity, proved decisive in the brief, silent confrontations. Inside the facility, the human team found what remained of the Novirians. They were tall, willowy beings with iridescent skin that shifted colors with their emotions. Currently, most glowed a deep blue that Dr. Amara Osei, the team's xenobiologist, identified as intense fear. When the Novirian leader, who introduced himself as Speaker Thalix, realized the humans had responded to their distress call rather than arriving with the council forces, his skin shifted to a cautious green. You came, he said through the team's translator. The council said no one would hear us. They said no one would dare interfere with their protection protocols. We heard you, Reyes said simply. Now tell us what happened here. Thalix's color darkened to a mournful indigo as he explained. The Novirians had developed faster-than-light communication 15 years ago, drawing the attention of the Galactic Council. The Council had arrived offering protection and guidance for a developing species, which the Novirians had gratefully accepted. Then they discovered the crystals, Thalix said, gesturing to the blue-veined walls of the facility. Quantum resonance crystals that form naturally in our planet's crust. When the Council representatives saw them, everything changed. Dr. Osei scanned the walls, her eyes widening. Captain, these crystals could revolutionize faster-than-light communications. They're theoretical in our research, but they'd allow instantaneous transmission across any distance. The Council said we weren't ready to utilize such technology. Thalix continued. They established protective outposts to ensure we developed properly. Then came the restrictions. Where we could build, where we could mine, which regions were now forbidden to us. And if you protested? Reyes asked, though she already suspected the answer. Then they showed us the true meaning of their protection. Thalix's color became almost black with grief. Precision strikes from orbit, they called it developmental correction. Before Reyes could respond, her comm unit buzzed urgently. Commander Okafor's voice came through, tense and controlled. Captain, we've been discovered. 2 more Council battlecruisers just entered the system. They're demanding we withdraw immediately and are threatening to open fire if we don't comply. Reyes looked at the desperate faces of the Novirians, then at her team. The choice was already made. Tell them we'll be sending our response shortly, she replied. Prepare the ship for combat operations. She turned to Thalix. Your people have suffered enough under Council protection. If you're willing to fight for your freedom, Earth stands with you. Thalix's skin shifted to a fierce bright orange. We have hidden resources, weapons we developed in secret. Many of my people would rather die fighting than live another day under Council control. Then it's time the galaxy learns what happens when they push a protected species too far, Reyes said. And what happens when Deathworlders answer a call for help. As they prepared to return to the Thunderchild, Dr. Osei approached Reyes privately. Captain, there's something else about these crystals. If the Novirians' research is correct, they don't just enhance communication. They can disrupt energy shields and weapon systems through quantum interference. Reyes smiled grimly. Then I think it's time we give the Council a demonstration of human ingenuity combined with Novirian technology. The galaxy wanted peace without justice. But Earth. She looked toward the sky where Council ships waited. Earth sent warriors. Deathworlders' justice back aboard the Thunderchild. Captain Reyes faced a tactical nightmare. 5 Council warships, each substantially larger and more heavily armed than her single vessel, formed a blockade above Novia. On the main view screen, the reptilian face of Council Enforcer Commander Xaviax regarded her with cold contempt. Human vessel, he hissed. You have violated Council Directive 1173 by interfering with a protected development zone. Withdraw immediately or face destruction. Reyes stood tall, shoulders squared. We responded to a distress call, as any civilized species would. What we found wasn't protection, it was exploitation and genocide. The affairs of protectorate species are not your concern, Xaviax replied. The Council has stewarded galactic development for 10,000 years. Humans have barely left their gravity well. You lack the perspective to understand our methods. We understand tyranny perfectly well, Reyes countered. We've fought it across our entire history. Xaviax's scaled face remained impassive. You have 1 hour to leave the system. After that, we will open fire. The transmission cut. Commander Okafor approached. They outgun us 5-1, Captain. Even with our advanced shields, we can't win this fight conventionally. Then we don't. Fight conventionally. Reyes turned to her team. Tell me about these quantum resonance crystals. Can we use them? For the next 40 minutes, the bridge transformed into a war council. Dr. Osei worked with the Novirian scientists who had been brought aboard, while Lieutenant Diaz coordinated with Novirian resistance fighters on the surface. Engineer Chief Zoya Petrov analyzed the crystal samples, her eyes lighting up as she understood their potential. It's brilliant, Captain, Petrov explained, gesturing to her calculations. These crystals don't just communicate. They resonate across quantum states. If we can attune them to the frequency of Council shields and weapons, we could disrupt their entire fleet, Reyes finished. But we'd need more crystals than what we brought aboard. Thalix, his skin now a determined gold, stepped forward. We have mining facilities hidden in the polar regions. The Council never found them because we masked the energy signatures. And we'd need to get close to their ships, Diaz added. The effect diminishes with distance. Reyes studied the tactical display, a plan forming. Then we give them exactly what they expect. A single outmatched human vessel making a desperate stand. She turned to Okafor. Meanwhile, you'll take a stealth team to the surface and coordinate with the Novirian resistance. Get those crystals into orbit at these coordinates. As the hour deadline approached, the Thunderchild faced the Council fleet alone. On the bridge, Reyes opened a communication channel. Council vessels, this is Captain Elena Reyes. We refuse to abandon the Novirian people to your exploitation. If defending the innocent means facing your weapons, so be it. Enforcer Commander. Xaviax's voice was cold. Your species' emotional attachment to primitive concepts like justice is why Deathworlders will never truly join galactic civilization. Open fire. The space around the Thunderchild erupted in energy as the Council ships launched their first volley. The human vessel's shields flared bright under the assault but held, barely. Evasive pattern Delta, Reyes ordered. Make it look good, but keep us within the disruption zone. The Thunderchild danced through space, taking hits that looked more damaging than they were. To the Council ships, it appeared to be a brave but futile last stand, exactly what they expected from emotional, impulsive Deathworlders. Meanwhile, in the planet's shadow, small Novirian craft loaded with quantum crystals moved into position. Commander Okafor's voice came through on a secure channel. Crystal network deployed, Captain. Ready on your mark. Reyes waited until the Thunderchild had drawn all 5 Council vessels into tight formation for the kill. Now, across the battlefield, dozens of specially tuned quantum resonance crystals activated simultaneously. The effect was immediate and devastating. Council shields flickered and failed as their energy matrices collapsed into quantum uncertainty. Weapon systems went offline as power conduits experienced simultaneous conflicting states. Target their propulsion systems, Reyes ordered. Disable, don't destroy. The Thunderchild's weapons, unaffected thanks to crystal matrix shielding developed in the last hour, fired with precision. One by one, the massive Council warships found themselves dead in space. On the surface of Novia, Novirian resistance fighters, coordinated by Commander Okafor, simultaneously struck at Council ground forces. With their communication and energy, weapons disrupted by the same quantum effect, the once invincible enforcers found themselves facing the fury of a people who had endured years of oppression. When it was over, Reyes stood on the bridge of the Thunderchild, facing not only Commander Zaviax but a holographic projection of the Council's High Executor, an ancient, gaunt being whose species had been among the founders of the Galactic Council. "This is unprecedented," the High Executor rasped. "An interference in Council matters that cannot be tolerated." "What can't be tolerated," Reyes replied, "is discovering that the institution claiming to protect developing species is actually exploiting them. The quantum crystals you coveted? The Novirians are prepared to share that technology freely with all species, including documentation of how you attempted to monopolize it through genocide." The High Executor's eyes narrowed. "No one will believe the claims of Deathworlders and a primitive species." "Perhaps not," Reyes acknowledged. "But Earth has transmitted everything we've discovered here to every world in the Alliance of Independent Systems. The evidence speaks for itself. And remember, your ships are still disabled in Novirian orbit." For the first time, uncertainty flickered across the ancient being's face. "Here are our terms," Reyes continued. "The Council will recognize Novirian independence immediately. You will provide reparations for the millions killed under your protection. And you will agree to independent inspections of all currently quarantined worlds. Or," the High Executor challenged, "or we share the quantum disruption technology with every species that has reason to fear Council protection," Reyes said simply. "Your technological advantage would vanish overnight. How long would the Council last then?" 3 days later, as the Thunderchild prepared to depart Novia, Speaker Thalix stood with Captain Reyes in the observation lounge. Below them, the planet gleamed blue-green, already showing signs of recovery as Novirians reclaimed their world. "The Council has dominated the galaxy for millennia," Thalix said, his skin shifting through thoughtful shades of green and blue. "They never expected to be challenged. Certainly not by a species they dismissed as violent Deathworlders, and a people they thought they had subdued." "That's the thing about labels," Reyes replied. "They reveal more about those who use them than those they're applied to. Yes, we evolved on a high-gravity world with dangerous predators and extreme environments. It made us strong, but more importantly, it taught us the value of cooperation and standing up for one another." Thalix's skin settled into a warm golden hue. "The Council called your people warriors as though it were something to be ashamed of. But we needed warriors. We needed someone willing to fight when diplomacy became a tool of oppression." Reyes smiled. "Earth has a long history of both war and peace. We've learned that sometimes you need strength to protect those who cannot protect themselves." She looked out at the stars beyond. "The galaxy called for peace without justice, hoping we would stay silent in our small corner of space. But Earth sent warriors," Thalix finished, "and we are eternally grateful for it." As the Thunderchild broke orbit and set course for Earth, Captain Reyes knew this was just the beginning. Word was already spreading throughout the galaxy about how a single human ship had stood against the Council and won. More importantly, word was spreading about why they had fought, not for conquest or resources, but to answer a cry for help. The Council had feared humans would disrupt their carefully controlled galaxy. Looking at the message requests already flooding in from other protected worlds, Reyes realized they had been right to be afraid. The Death Worlders had arrived on the galactic stage, and they had brought with them something more dangerous than any weapon. They had brought hope.